everyone. It's Marc Sabatella from Mastering MuseScore here, and welcome to the Music Masterclass. So this is my regular series on Thursdays where we talk about some aspect of making music, composition, arranging, improvisation, and so forth. And today we're going to be premiering the Community Canon that many of you who are here present were involved in the creation of. So I appreciate all the submissions I got, and I spent quite a bit of time looking at how to combine them most effectively. So we're going to listen to it, and then we'll talk about some of the things that happened. And so I'm going to give you fair warning again. The construction outside my place, they're messing with the internet. I'm on a backup wireless network right now. And so if anything goes wrong, just don't panic. I will switch over to my phone. We'll be fine. So if things go haywire, just sit tight and I will recover. So I'm already on plan B and I've got plan C ready to go. All right. So what I think I'm going to do is just to minimize the likelihood of like glitches, I'm actually going to play the completed canon from MuseScore.com. And yeah, Premiere, actually with an E at the end, also is the correct spelling for this meaning of Premiere, as opposed to like the premiere of a country or something. So before I actually play, I'm just going to say a few words before I play the completed canon and then say more. So the few words that I say is, first, for anyone who's not aware, as part of the basic music theory course that we just completed, there was a final project where we were supposed to write a series of melodies over the chord progression used in the Pachelbel canon, and then we are going to assemble them, or I assembled them basically into a completed canon following that model. And you have to realize that's not normally how you compose canons. You don't normally just take random different melodies written over the same chord progression and combine them and hope they work together, because you're going to have all sorts of places where there's dissonances, parallel fifths, parallel octaves that you could have totally avoided if you were the one writing the whole thing. But I did try to set it up in such a way that I had pretty good chance of success. And yeah, I think we did pretty well. There's definitely some parallels that, we would prefer not to have, and we'll talk about those. And so that's the first thing I want to tell you. The second thing I want to tell you is, so I wanted to use everyone's submissions who submitted stuff. And so I got a number of different submissions. And so everyone submitted 4 or up to 4, not everyone submitted all 4, but up to 4 melodies, a quarter note based melody, an eighth note based melody, a 16th note based melody, and one using whatever other rhythms you want. And so I wanted to use 2 from everyone. I mean, I tried to do a version where I just used 1 from everyone. It was too short. The 2 from everyone, I'm going to tell you right now, is on the long side. It's longer than the original Pachelbel canon, but then we get to hear more music, right? So those are the 2 things to know about this. It's got everyone's, it's got 2 pieces from everyone, and I labeled where all the entrances were, so you'll be able to see where your own stuff and all of your friends came in. All right, so without further ado then, I'm going to flip over here to MuseScore.com and let it play. And right now, this score is private, and at the end of this session, I will make it public and make it so that everyone can access it and post it and all that. But for now, I'm going to keep it on here so that private, so that if I discover any last minute changes we need to make, I will do that. All right. So here is the list of everyone who submitted, and I had posted this in the community earlier in case I missed anyone. Hopefully anyone that was missing, you had a chance to get me notified, but these are the people whose pieces I have. So without further ado, here we go. Let's see if we hear it. Oh, okay. Take 2. Take 2. Start it quieter. And there you have it, our community canon. I remember to unmute. Yeah. So thanks for the reminder. That came out pretty well. So what we're going to do is, talk about some of the things that went into this, some of the decisions that were made, that I made in the process of assembling it, and then feel free to ask questions, and we'll just see what we discover here. So let me tell you there's a couple other things. I didn't want to talk too much before we started, but there were a couple other things I wanted to tell you. First of all, if when you saw your melody in there, I didn't change anything about anyone's melodies except for two things. Some I either moved up an octave or down an octave so that it would connect better. In fact, that it was always about connecting better, right? So either I moved some people's melodies up an octave so it would connect better with someone else's, and in a few cases, I change the very last note of your melody. Like if your melody ended on, say, the leading tone, and then the next melody had to come in like on scale degree 3 or something, I might have added an extra eighth note in there to connect it more smoothly. So I did a few things like that. And but mostly I didn't change anything, octaves and connecting pieces. So there's also, you may have noticed I gave myself 3. And I did do my thing, Graham, where I supposedly made my sound do the good things, but internet is internet, right? And so, but I did think that I had checked, yeah, I checked the appropriate boxes so that we're getting the best sound quality and reasonably again. Self, 3 melodies in here. Not because I felt like, oh, I'm going to write better melodies, but there's 3 things that I wanted to make happen that were going to be hard to make happen otherwise. All right. And let me talk about that. First is at the beginning, when it's only quarter notes. This is the place, and I have made this point in previous weeks talking about the whole structure of this thing. There's any number of things you can get away with in terms of dissonances and parallels. I'm breaking up, really? That's unfortunate. Is everyone else hearing? Oh, man. Okay, so maybe it's the internet doing bad things for me. Give me, weak internet. Okay, let me try, see if my phone will connect better. See if I can connect better on my phone. I don't actually, and also let me test to see if the official connection is any better right now. Mm. Hmm. Okay, am I here? Am I here? Can anyone see me? Can anyone hear me? Like I said at the beginning, internet issues. Don't. I hopefully, I mean, the sound might be not good, but at least I'm here, right? And so I think we're going to have to go with that. We're going to have to go with sound not being great, but it's the best we can get at the moment. So give me one moment to just do this again. Make sure all is well. Okay. And yeah. Yeah, the sound is going to be it's going to be what it is. It's going to be sort of in and out, I think, just because it's a weak internet connection right now. Okay, so what I think I was saying, yeah, I got to repop out my chat again. What was I saying? Because you all have to tell me, what the last thing was you remember me saying before things went haywire. I'll tell you what I was starting to say. I was starting to talk about the quarter note passage being the place where I needed to provide my own accompaniment to a melody to make sure, because there were no two quarter note melodies that were going to work together well enough to make me happy to start the piece with. As I said, you can get away with a lot when we're dealing with eighth notes and 16th notes and so forth. But okay, so yeah, I had to change the last notes of lines sometimes. And so then I wrote this opening melody here after Linda's start melody so that we would have a starting point that was going to work. I did the same at the end. I wanted to make sure at the end we had something that would close the piece out well. And in particular, I really wanted to get that secondary dominant in there, right? That, wait a minute, I need to redo this thing. There we go. Okay, so I really wanted to get that secondary dominant, right? That C natural, because I had suggested people to do that, and really, I don't think anyone gave me those C naturals here, so I wanted that. So I put that in and just made sure that things would work out well at the end. The other place that I inserted myself into this is the part that I think Colleen mentioned or someone mentioned as especially enjoying, and I hope so. That would be the case, is the 32nd note passage, which is really Joanne's passage, right? Joanne, this is your 32nd note passage here. And so the thing is, I knew I wanted to be able to use that because that was going to provide the appropriate kind of climactic thing. And it does sound very much like how the Pachelbel one, it's not the same passage, but it's very reminiscent. So I think you did a great job with that. But no one else had written a part that was going to be compatible with that. So the thing that I did was I harmonized it in thirds. And this is one of those things that Pachelbel does all over the place in his canon, but you can't do unless it's the same person writing all the parts. So actually, I do want to, give me 1 second. I want to share my full thing with the keyboard and all, because I do want to play some stuff on the piano here and there. So 1 more second of technical fiddling here.